Very good. Okay, we talk about angle being a measurement of rotation. Okay? So if two lines are parallel, there is no angle between them. There is no rotation between two lines that are parallel. They go in the same direction. But once one line is going in a different direction, there is a rotation about a point, then we start to be able to measure this amount of rotation. Okay? So your amount of rotation, starting, no rotation, 0. As it become bigger and bigger, the rotation become bigger and bigger, the angle become bigger and bigger. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 20, until 90 degrees, until you rotate even more, become a straight line, become 180. So when we are using our protractor, you all don't have your protractor, then you cannot see. So everyone look here. Your protractor is a measurement of the angle or the amount of rotation. So if this green line, this is the angle I want to measure, this is the amount of rotation. From being like that to being like that. When it is like that, it is 0. So if you look at your protractor, Fiona, why are you still staring at the outside? You never bring your protractor. I put a protractor for you to see, but you are still looking at outside. Okay? So on your protractor, there are two directions. One is measuring from here, 0, until here. So you look at your scale. There is a 0, there is a 180. Because the 180 is when the rotation is from this side. So totally rotate like that. That's why there is a 180 here, when it is a straight line. So if there is a 0 and a 180 over here also, if you look at your protractor. So if I'm measuring this angle, I must know this side like that is 0. So if I'm measuring this angle, I need to start reading with the scale that starts from 0 here. Then 0, 10, 20, 30. I don't want to make the mistake of go and reading this angle here is 150. Because this 150 is not this angle. It is when I rotate from here until here. Then this bigger angle is your 150. Okay? So you must be able to read your protractor. Know how to use your protractor to read the angle. Okay? This rotation from here to here is 130. This time round, we are starting to read from 0 on this side until 130 on this side. Whereas the other one, we are reading from this side until here. So it is from 0 until 30. Okay? Then we talk about the special names for the different angles. The special angles that I told you are 0, 90. Lucas, you want to come and teach him? You want to come and teach the whole class? Then why do I have to stop and then tell you not to talk? You waste 10 seconds of my time is wasting everyone's 10 seconds. 10 seconds multiplied by 30, 300 seconds. Okay, so the special angles when we talk about rotation, 0 when there's no rotation. Then we rotate until 90, 180, 270, then finally 360, which is the same as 0 when we go one whole round. Okay, so the different names given for the angles between 0 to 90, small angles, we call it a cube angle. Then it will reach 90. At first it is a small angle, then we reach 90 degrees, we call it a right angle. Then when it goes beyond 90 degrees, it's a bigger angle already, so we call it obtuse. Obtuse. Remember by OB. Then when we have a straight line, it is 180. Then when we go beyond 180, we call it a reflex angle. So this rotation is like that. Like that. The rotation is 0, 90, 180, more than 180 already. So we call this a reflex angle. So these are some of the names that you all are required to remember. Okay, then we went on to talk about complementary, supplementary. Complementary, supplementary means two angles add up together. Supplementary start with S. S for straight line. So supplementary angles is when two angles add up to 180 degrees. Okay? Then complementary is the other one already, 90 degrees. So these two are the special angles. That's why two angles add up to 90, two angles add up to 180. You all have to know. Okay. Then after that, we went through the questions in your workbook. Okay? These two angles, they are on a straight line. So they will add up to 180. Then we can form an equation and find out what is the unknown. Similarly here, three angles add up to 180. So we can form an equation. This plus this plus this is a straight line. So this plus this plus this is 180. Then we solve the equation, we can find out what is the unknown. Some of you will straight away, x is 180 minus 45, which is not wrong. But then if you only think in one direction, when questions become like that, how are you going to, plus minus 20, plus minus 15, then somehow divide by 7. So, if, as long as you know your algebra, you do each of the simple steps, then every step is simple, but you just continue doing all the simple steps, you can step by step find out what is x. That's why we write, these two angles add together is 180. So 4x plus 20 plus 3x minus 15 equals to 180. Then at each step, we just continue writing equation, we solve, make x the subject, we can find out what is x. Okay? Similarly here, I don't know how y'all can go and think a lot of things inside your brain, or 180 minus 80 plus 2 plus what. But why? You don't need to do all that. And most of the time when you do that, you get it wrong. So just put these three, adding up together is 180. Solve the equation step by step. It's just plus, minus, multiply, and divide. Then you get your answer already. Okay? So this is where we stopped yesterday. Then, question 6. The exact working is almost the same as question 5. Just now, the straight line one. Except, this time round, is a whole circle. We call it angles at a point. So at this point, these three angles, they will add up to 360. So the solutions to all these questions is also similar. Let us do one together. For example, part A, there are 3 angles. One angle is 114, one angle is 90, one angle is 3x. If we add up these 3 angles, 114 plus 90 plus 3x, we will have 360 because they form one whole round. Once we have our equation, we continue to make x the subject, put all the numbers on one side, then subtract 204 from both sides, we know 3 times x is 156, but we want 1x, so we divide both sides by 3, we can get 52. Okay? So, forming an equation, then after that every step is just plus, minus, divide, which are things you should be very good at since primary school 1. Okay? Okay, we do one more together, then after that you all do the rest. Okay, this time round there are 1 angle, 2 angle, 3 angle, 4 angle. Individually, like very complicated, but I only need to know when I add these 4 angles together, they will be the same as one whole big round. One whole big round, which is 360 degrees. So adding these 4 angles will be equal to 360 degrees. 26 minus 7 plus 77 minus x plus 12x minus 11 plus 6x equals to 360. I started here. It is easier if I go by one direction, clockwise. So this one I go clockwise, I take this one, I plus this one, I plus this one, I plus the last one. So these 4 angles adds up to 360. Then I would have formed my equation. Then after that, solve your equation. Okay? Can? Okay, go and sit down, try the questions on page 41. Your questions are from easy to hard one. Okay? So try B first, then continue. It will get harder and harder. Part B, quite straightforward. Add up the three angles. The three angles adds up to 15x. 15x is 360. X is 24. Hey, you're supposed to do, then check your answer. Don't just look and copy. No use one. Three angles, 1, 2, 3, adds up to 360. So I just write x plus 25 plus x minus 13 plus 108. Then on the left, I have x plus x. So they add up to 2x. Then I put all the numbers together. Plus 25 minus 13 plus 108. They will become 120. Like that only what? All are plus minus. Then left hand side is like that. Right hand side no change. So still 360. My aim is to make x the subject. So I don't want this 120. I don't want 120. I have to subtract 120 on both sides. Then left hand side no 120 already. Now right hand side got a minus 120. So simplify to 240. 2 times x is 240. 1x will be 240 divided by 2. I divide both sides by 2. Okay? And learn to present your equation like that. Don't in the middle suddenly in between write or x plus x equals to 2x. Or in between suddenly you write 25 minus 13 plus 108. That one right outside. Or just straight away key calculator. Remain left hand side, left hand side, left hand side, left hand side, left hand side. Right hand side, right hand side, right hand side, right hand side, right hand side. Four angles. X plus 2x plus 3x minus 35 plus 2x minus 5 equals to 360. Then, no difference. Adds up all the x. X plus 2x plus 3x plus 2x. 4, 5, 8. 8x. Minus 35 minus another 5. Then add 40 on each side. I don't want this minus 40, so I have to add 40 to make it go away. If I add 40 on the left, I need to add 40 on the right. That's why when it go away, I will have 360 plus 40. 8 times x is 400. X by itself is, I want to divide both sides by 8. When I divide 8x by 8, it becomes x. When I divide 400 by 8, I can get x equals to 50. Amira, why you close your workbook and do a workbook one? Why you do your workbook while closing your workbook? You holding your workbook like that, then what do you do? Wait. I can wait, but your WA cannot wait already. This one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 angles. But no difference. 5 angles adds up to 70. Sorry, 5 angles add together will become 360. So if I start with 72, I go clockwise. The right angle is 90. Then I have a 80 minus x. I have another right angle, then I have a 2x plus 7. So these 5 angles, they are form one circle, form one round, about a point. So angles at a point is 360 degrees. So these 5 angles adds up to 360. You know the idea, you can write the workings yourself. Okay, if listen. Hello, Amira, you all still talking? I asked you all to listen. Look up. Okay, so if you are asked for a reason, what we are doing now is called angles at a point, because all your angles are at a point. Okay, so if you are asked a reason why these angles adds up to 360, then you will say the reason is angles at a point. Okay, for yesterday one, why the angles adds up to 180? If they ask you for a reason, the reason is adjacent angles on the straight line. Because straight line 180, adjacent means side by side angles, they will add up to 180. So the reason is called adjacent angles on the straight line. Okay, if you are asked for a reason. Okay, continue, finish up all these questions. Train your algebra at the same time. Okay, all try already? Xingning, you finish or not? Then why you sitting there, sitting like a boss, not doing anything, looking at Miya's workbook? I also don't know you're looking at her book for what. You should be trying your own questions. You listen to me, copy my working, no use one. You have to be the one thinking, go and apply. When you take your WA, you are the only one who can go and do your paper. end of the day, you are the only one who decide what score you are going to get. I'm here, I can tell you, you have to do this, do this, do this. You don't do, same, you won't learn. Okay, once you are done, you can own self check your answer. We want to move on to question 7. Question 7, you need to know another property. Okay? Okay, so stop doing your question 6. Look up for a while. Oh yeah, we use the whiteboard. Whiteboard easier. Okay, when I have two straight lines and they intersect each other, there are two straight lines. So, if I know this one is 30, then if I use my property from the adjacent angles on a straight line, I will know that if I use this line, adjacent angle on a straight line, so this and this, they will make up 180, meaning I know this one is 150. Okay, if now I forget about this green color straight line, which is why I try to find another color. If I forget totally about the green line, then now, after knowing this is 150, I just look at the other straight line. They intersect each other. So this one is again another straight line, adjacent angles on the straight line, this one will be 30. Okay? So no matter how these numbers change, as long as I have two lines, if here this time round is 50, sorry, bigger, 80, looking at the green line, here will be 100 degrees. Then after that, I look at the red line. This will again straight line. So this one is 80. Okay. So no matter how the angle change, the opposite angle will always be the same because of the two straight lines. So this one and this one will be supplementary. At the same time, this one and this one will be supplementary. So the opposite angles will always be the same. And this property is called vertically opposite angles. Okay? If they ask you for reason, the reason is vertically opposite angles. But it came because of the straight lines. Okay? So, we can look at our question 7. If you know your vertically opposite angle, then now you can see already. These two, they are vertically opposite, so definitely they will be the same. Then I can straight away write down x plus 20 is the same as 38. Then I can solve already. Okay? Very easy also. Both sides minus 20. So So my x is 18. Okay, then we quickly look at part B. When we try to use the vertically opposite, we must make sure it is a cross between two straight lines. Here is one straight line, here is one straight line. So AOD, this whole thing is the vertically opposite because of the cross. Okay, not individually. AOE is not vertically opposite here because they here don't have a straight line.